Ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here from YouTube. And in today's video, folks, we're going to be talking about Voyager token. We're going to be talking about CKB. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin and then ICP. So let's get into this. So welcome back to Monday, everybody. I hope you guys are set up to have a great week. Like I said, we'll be discussing the cryptos that I just mentioned, and let's just kick things off with Voyager token. Now, I have been slowly increasing my position, primarily on the Friday buys, but I do think that Voyager token is really looking good for the time being. Of course, all this could change at any moment, so it's not financial or trading advice or anything like that. Now, for the last few weeks, I've been spouting off about how I think that Voyager token is in this little inverse head and shoulders pattern, quite possibly. I've also been kind of calling the shots when it comes to time sequence. Everything has played out exactly as predicted. So now what am I really waiting for Voyager token to do? Well, we can see that it's kind of in this little bit of a channel, and I can't tell yet if this is going to be some sort of rising wedge or if this is just going to be some sort of channel. But I am hoping that we see Voyager token continue to bounce off this lower trend line and trade anywhere between this $1.58, $1.60 level and around this $1.75-ish level, somewhere in there. Even if it came up to hit the $1.72-ish level, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Currently, we're trading at $1.58. And you can definitely see that even on a shorter term time frame, VGX is kind of squeezing a little bit. We can see this symmetrical triangle squeeze. Let's just look at this thing on the daily. The daily, we're still underneath this cloud. This needs to change. A lot of times, though, like I've mentioned in previous videos, when we start to see this 50 moving average just barely start to straighten out, we will see a nice rapid acceleration of price. So I'm really hoping that we don't get rejected by this 50 moving average, which is right around the $1.75-ish range, because we did get rejected by the 50 moving average back on March 2nd. So to boot, Voyager really does have a great opportunity to kind of sneak through this skinnier portion of the Ichimoku cloud on the daily. So with that said, here we are with just nothing but a bunch of spinning tops for candles the last 5-6 days ish. So spinning tops are usually a good indication that a trend is about to reverse. We can see what happened here, a nice spinning top here, or even when we're looking for like doji stars. It's a good indication on higher time frames that the general momentum is about to shift. So with that said, we can look at some of this Fibonacci time sequence from previous moves that Voyager has made. We pulled a reversal here back in December, pulled a reversal here, and now we are 4 days into this time sequence. I'm hoping this is the point where we start heading upwards. So I do think that Voyager token is sitting pretty off to CKB now. And then we'll go over ICP after that, because ICP is one of these cryptos that's now kind of on my radar. And I'm kind of kicking myself as to why I haven't caught onto it earlier. For now, we can see that CKB is really testing these lower support levels. So I am expecting CKB to quite possibly pull a U-turn here anytime now. If it doesn't, this thing's heading down to 0.0079-ish levels. That's just the next natural area of support. We can see that back in February of 21, we had that support down here. Also, last July, we had that support down here. Right now, though, on the daily chart for CKB, price action is kind of lurking further away from the cloud than I would like to see it. We did have a nice symmetrical triangle squeeze here, and I thought for sure that we would see this bounce a little bit. But these markets, we're seeing a lot of similar patterns play out, with this 50 moving average and the 200. So another thing I'd like to point out is that, if CKB fails at this 0.0079 ish level, I do think that is such a crucial level of support and resistance, primarily because we can see this in all of CKB's existence, really. This has been a tremendous resistance and support level for CKB. So if we do fall below this 0.0075 ish level, we'll talk about it later on, because I think it's down to 0.005 after that. Nervos Network has been making some great advancements. They just released their roadmap. I haven't really, to be honest with you guys, I've been so busy lately that I just haven't had the chance to really read up on what it is that they're doing. But one thing I like about Nervos is that they keep cranking out these projects and updating their network. So it is a good thing. So I'm thinking, like, in terms of RSI, we can look at historical movements of price in relation to RSI. In the live stream I did the other day, you can see that on the daily, whenever Nervos RSI really dumped into like the 20s, somewhere in there, we would get a reversal after a half a month or whatever. Currently, we're kind of at the end of being in the red as far as RSI concerned, below 30, for almost a month. And so in each of these instances, we saw price rapidly increase after hitting these RSI levels on the daily. We can just see this. So I'm hoping that this continues on. And if it does, we may in fact be setting up for a very nice ascending triangle, which could go all the way to this fall. This thing might bounce up to the 3.5 cent ish level. And then we might see a little bit of a retracement down to the 2 cent level, and then a humongous blast off. So it's going to be really interesting to see where this trend line here gets established if Nervos does decide to pull a 180. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Like I said, I think price action is below this Ichimoku cloud to the point where we might see a little bounce back here. But we really need to be careful and really test this 0.01, basically the penny level. Because right now we have really tested this level 4 or 5 times in the last year. So Nervos Network, CKB, like I said, it's looking halfway decent. I know I've gone into detail on this before, but we do have this, corrective wave, an ABCDE corrective wave that has come through. So that might be signaling that it's time for a reversal, or at least a retest of some other numbers like this 50 moving average and the 200 moving average. So let's take a quick peek at ICP, folks. I want you guys to just look at ICP when you get a moment. This has been on my radar the last month or so. I have personally started position in this. In fact, I have positions in Voyager, I have positions in CKB, and I have positions in Internet Computer. So a lot of people see this ticker ICP, and they might think like the insane clown posse or something like that. But it is far from it. They've got a pretty decent project, top ranked number 37 coin. So Bitcoin Renegade, follow his channel, was the one to really turn me on to ICP. And it was just kind of like one of those moments where I'm like, how did I ever miss this thing? But they've only got, I think they got just under a 500 million coin market cap as well. So there's some really good opportunities for this coin to flex. Again, with the alongside the other cryptocurrencies, this is a very familiar pattern and setup like we're seeing. And I'm just going to say it again. Once we start to see this 50 moving average kind of straighten out like this, we a lot of times will see a price break to the upside. Now, ICP, as you can see, is in this falling wedge pattern. This is a very bullish pattern. So I suspect sometime soon we may see price action come up to right about this $19 level and test the 50 moving average. If not, go higher. The one thing that I'm hoping happens is that this doesn't happen too soon, and then it tries to trade through this Ichimoku cloud, because this is a fairly thick portion of the Ichimoku cloud. I'm not saying that it can't make it through, but here's an example of a failure. So I think that if price can just kind of fizzle out and maybe get outside of this falling wedge for some sort of bullish pattern or ascending triangle or bull flag or whatever it is, I'm hoping that we can see this price action maybe come up and hit this 22-ish dollar level, and then at that point consolidate above this presumed Ichimoku cloud or something like that. There is a time sequence on Internet Computer, April 27th, and we can see that I've got this already kind of set up here. Let's just double check things to make sure everything is looking good. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and revise that. May 6th. So May 6th, there is a Fibonacci time sequence. And then I want to measure this swing high or this swing low to this swing high. And there is something to look forward to in the next few days. So March 17th, Internet Computer, there's a time sequence. We've got a falling wedge. This could be a good indication that we get a bounce here. So, we might be seeing something like this in the works. So yeah, I think that Internet Computer is looking decent, at least on the daily. Let's look at this thing on the weekly here. Again, TradingView just doesn't have enough data here to show us much. But this thing had one heck of a squeeze up to $750 back May of 21, somewhere in there. I know it was 750. TradingView is showing this at 884. So that's pretty crazy. And you can definitely see the falling wedge on this thing, even on a grander scale. So yeah, we might be gearing up for a little bit of upwards momentum here soon. There's not a whole lot of data for me to really go over, though, on the weekly for ICP. I'm going to go ahead and clear this. And then let's move off to Bitcoin, folks, because this really, everybody kind of keeps their eye on Bitcoin. I've mentioned in the past how I think that all these cryptocurrencies, all the markets just fluctuate to the certain rhythm. As far as crypto goes, I think everything's just on the same rhythm, not necessarily following Bitcoin. It's just all on the same natural rhythm. But here we have Bitcoin in this symmetrical triangle squeeze on the daily, folks. This couldn't look better. So what we have here is spinning tops on the daily, price is really consolidating. And we really have been trading sideways since, I mean, January, folks, of 2022. So we can even see the RSI is squeezing as well. The one cool thing about Bitcoin right now is the fact that we are seeing this 50 moving average trade parallel to the 200 moving average. We've got a symmetrical triangle squeeze, and we've got the thinnest ever Ichimoku cloud that we could ever ask for. So this is going to give us a lot of power to move to the upside as long as people step in to squeeze this. Now, this is a very interesting, point in time for Bitcoin. We'll look at the weekly chart in just a second. I've always said, since on the weekly chart, that Bitcoin needs to come up and test this $47,000, $49,000-ish level to prevent us from going into a full-blown bear market. So here we are, about to come up and test these levels. Let's look at the weekly chart. And here we go. Bear with me one second. So as you can see, here's the 50 moving average, right about this $46,000-ish level. So we really need Bitcoin to come up and dogpile on this 50 moving average and break to the upside to get out of this Ichimoku cloud. The one thing that we don't have going for us right now is the fact that we are still trading within the Ichimoku cloud, and we have been for months and months. The one thing that's been saving us is that we have maintained presence within this Ichimoku cloud. Crazy to be in this cloud for as long as we are. But if things break down and things fail, this thing might be gearing up for a move down to the $21,000 level. It just is what it is. That's a corrective wave. We're squeezing. I think we'll know a true direction here soon. But I do think that is entirely possible. So with that said, it just kind of is what it is, right? So Bitcoin is going to make its decision in the next few days, I predict. I would say by March, I'll say by March 20th, we'll know which way Bitcoin is going. March 18th, March 20th, you'll see Bitcoin trading anywhere between 41,000 and 37,600. So we're heading in the right direction right now. So that pretty much, folks, wraps it up in a nutshell. Obviously, there's a lot of other things going on in the world, like this whole war in Ukraine, the whole thing with Russia. We got sanctions, all sorts of financial power plays being handed down across the world. So there's a lot influencing the market right now. I think that a lot of traders are kind of on edge and are kind of scared. So it wouldn't surprise me if traders really stepped away here and maybe just kind of let the house of cards fall a little bit. Just a side note. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping that we see Bitcoin kind of rage back up to this $50,000 level. But if it does, don't let anybody fool you, especially if we come up to that $46,000, $47,000 level. Do not let the slogan, "The bull run is back on," mess with your mind, okay? So that's a lot of, just check back with this channel. A lot of times you'll end up in a bull trap or something like that. So that's kind of my prediction on the market right now. Big shout out to all the Patreons. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. $3 a month will get your name, YouTube channel name, or business name up on this banner showing that you support the Six Fig Stock Trader YouTube channel. I totally appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I hope you guys all have a wonderful wonderful day. Check out my Wojak video here, and we'll see you guys on the next one.